Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. This is a random thing which you see. It was created totally randomly. And I often get requests, please help me model this or that. No, I cannot do this because of the time. I don't have the time for it. I just try out things in Maya in the educational version, which is called the student edition. And I just get results which I like to share, and this is one of them. This looks like maybe a woman, and here is maybe a baby, and it's a rocking chair sort of thing. It's quite an amazing structure with many polygons, as we can see, and the light is just a single physical sky shader rendered in Arnold with a little bit, just a little bit of depth of field. That's why the rim here of the mountain range is slightly blurred, whereas this is totally in focus. Well, Pietà, I thought, I froze the animation, which is a character animation, a motion capturing with some deformations. I stopped it all of a sudden and rendered it and thought, wow, it looks like a Pietà. What is a Pietà, if you don't know? The Pietà is a subject in Christian art depicting the Virgin Mary cradling the dead body of Jesus, most often found in sculpture. Yes, like here. Lots of Pietàs, and I've just added one to the rich selection of Pietàs by just a random process. I want to show you basically what I did, and since I'll create the scene from scratch, we won't get that result. This was just a pure random thing, but we get interesting results, I'm pretty sure. Okay. So let's start with a new scene. In a new scene, we go to Windows, General Editors, and under General Editors, we find the Content Browser. And we can use one of the, maybe a walking motion capture file. And when we press the key A, we see that man walking and walking. It doesn't do much more. He just walks. It's motion capture data, and that's basically all there is. I usually, here you see the animation keyframes. I usually pick this object here and scale him down dramatically, just like this. And then, and there's another tutorial I did about this, I selected him, or I select him, and I go to Cache, Alembic Cache, and I export the selection to Alembic with the time slider settings from frame 1 to 317. The reason why I'm doing this is because the skin is totally dependent on the skeleton underneath. And the skeleton is a really rich skeleton with hundreds of keyframes. And if I want to get rid of that skeleton and just have a walking skin, so to say, I use the Alembic export. So I export the selection, Alembic, and now it's scrubbing through the animation, and it's done. Now I can forget this scene, and I go to Cache again, Alembic Cache, and I open the Alembic. And keep in mind, here we have two nodes, and this one is a big node. If I open it, it's really dozens of joints down there. But now we go to Walk Alembic, we import this file, we say we don't want to save the current file, and here we have the lean animation. It's the same animation, the same scale, and I only have the walk one skin. So that's all I have. So the next thing I did in the Pietà case, and be prepared, we won't manage to do a Pietà here. Some other things will turn up, which I don't know really. It's a random thing. It's an experimenting with things. So I pick him and I just select one of his faces. Face here. Just any of them. I can use this one as well. Let's use this one. Let's pick this one. Now I go to the modeling toolkit, which is right here. And I want to wedge this thing. What is wedging? Edit mesh, wedge. In the status line down there, you see wedge the selected faces by extruding and rotating them around or about a selected edge. So I need to select a face, which I just did, this one, and I additionally need to select an edge. For example, that one up here. Let's get a little bit closer, like this one. I want to select this one. So how do I do this? I select the face, well, yeah, and now I go to multi-component. So face first, with the shift key, the edge, and now I can go to edit mesh and wedge. The wedge tool basically does this. It creates something which sticks out, is rotated around this this part of the face, and that's basically it. We can change it in any way. For example, the wedge angle is 90 degrees now. We can set it to 70 degrees, so it's slightly smaller, that wedge, but we don't really care about it. It's just a random thing. So it sits here, totally uninteresting. And now, and that's a plugin I'm using, I use the Prosets plugin, programmed by the folks at Mainframe North in England, and we should support them. They are also responsible for the MASH, M-A-S-H network here in Maya, this one. But this one is independent from Autodesk, so they just developed it out of fun, I guess, and we'll have a lot of fun with it. You use this plugin. In the description you find how to load it. You use this plugin by pressing the Alt key, holding down the Alt key, and then with this thing selected, click here, and it asks us select the history node to use. Yeah, it was the poly wedge face one. That's what we did. Now the wedge disappears here, but we have things to do here, and the main thing we'll use is the percentage. Wait and see. So we're wedging the whole object now. He's up here. Now there's another option here, which is called the modulus. The modulus really does strange things. This is the modulus alone now. Where is our character? Modulus 2 looks like this. So he's sort of here. He has lots of holes here. And now, when we use the motion capture data, he has to somehow perform his walk with this deformation. So you might find this very odd. It certainly is. But doesn't that inspire to do interesting modeling? Basically, I didn't do anything. I just used a plugin in order to wedge the whole object in a pretty unexpected way. This is a rendering with motion blur. Just a random thing, really. If you don't have the Prosets plugin, which is just one of many plugins which do interesting jobs with polygon mesh deformations and modeling. You can do it by hand, like changing the faces structure and doing wedging or extruding edges or faces, a lot of them in the original skin. And then you will see when you animate the extrusion, for example, you get very interesting results as well. Prosets just eases this whole process. And I think, as I said, did I say this? I think it's 40 pounds, and I actually paid for it, so I'm not getting paid for this tutorial. I'm not getting paid for the tutorials anyway. Well, enjoy.